everybody, let me take my glasses off so we're not glaring. It annoys me too, guys. It annoys me too. Today is the start of the Wizardly Readathon for Magical Supremacy or something like that. The Wizardly Readathon. I created a TBR and then broke it the first day. So I didn't get a chance to record yesterday, which was actually the first, and the reason for that is I've just been so dang busy with like homeschooling and stuff like that. I haven't had a chance to really sit down. So we're going to correct that. I'm going to vlog. We're going to get ourselves in the habit back again of recording when I need to. And so the first book that I read was Blood of Crows. And I have to say, I liked this book. I liked it. However, if you guys have been around for a little while, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of Michael J. Sullivan, Brandon Sanderson, and I think this might be the selling point for everybody else to pick up the Blood of Crows. I don't like the writing style. I don't like the writing style. Oh, it's sad because, you know, on paper, this is a book I should have loved, and then the prose got to me. I don't like the utilitarian prose, so I struggled with that. I know a lot of people find it easy to read and accessible. I struggle with it though. I do. I like more eloquent writing. Maybe even a little bit more dense writing, I guess is the way that I could say that. Or, you know, even flowery writing. I do have a tendency to like flowery writing as long as it's done. As long as that's not all the book is. There has to be plot, there has to be characters, but really just elegant writing. I prefer that. Anthony Ryan being one of them, Giles Christian. So yes, I struggled with this because of the accessibility. And I do think if you like Michael J. Sullivan or Brandon Sanderson though, Alex C. Pierce, Blood of Crows, this is the book for you. This is the thief type story you've been looking for. This is your book to scratch that Regarding a Revelations itch. And like I said, I like the plot. I like the characters. It was the writing style. I really struggled with it. I really struggled with it. So I'd still recommend it. Like, I think that if someone asked me about heist stories to read, I'd recommend The Blood of Crows because I'm the weirdo who doesn't like Brandon Sanderson, obviously. I'm the weirdo. Everybody else I know loves Brandon Sanderson. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh, and that fulfilled my prompt of heist. Did I totally just move my camera? I think I did. Whatever. We'll figure it out. That fulfilled my prompt for a heist. So next I'm going for my prompt of an assassin character and a broken blade. I'm very excited to get into this. I will check in with you guys midway through. I know I have been really bad about that, especially since I haven't had time to sit down and record. And, you know, obviously I've read one book before the start of this vlog, but this will be my next read. I'm very excited to get into it. And I do hope to post this vlog by Friday. We will see. We will see. It is currently Saturday. But we will probably walk the dog, do some gaming, all that stuff. My husband's taking a nap, and I'm going to take that chance to read. Okay, guys, small confession here. I blew through this book again. I'm so bad about not checking in with you guys when I say I'm going to. That just means I'm reading good books. I can't seem to put them down. So This one, I have to say, I didn't realize this was going to be a fantasy romance. I'm not mad about it. I've been very much on the hunt for fantasy romance that has a good fantasy plot alongside the romance. This totally fits the bill. The fantasy plot is more of the focus in this book. Like the romance is there, but the fantasy plot definitely is more important. And so I appreciated that about this book, because oftentimes in fantasy romance, the romance takes over and then the plot's just not that good, or the plot of the story gets lost. And like I said, I've been looking for those for quite some time, and I will do a whole video with the ones I've found that the fantasy plot actually holds up. But I loved this book. And I almost want to just continue to the next book, but I won't, because I'm in the middle of a readathon and I know I could squeeze it in and still make my numbers for the readathon. But I have already started Blood of an Exile by Brian Naslund. I'm about halfway through. I am loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. I don't know if it is because the audio narrator is Stephen Brand, and for me, that is very nostalgic because he also does Bloodsong. And so whenever I hear Stephen Brand's voice, I hear Valen Alsorna. However, Bershad is very different from Valen. He's a dragon slayer, and he gets recruited into a political scheme, which I'm finding very intriguing. I'm loving how the political maneuverings are happening in this world. I'm really loving the way dragons are described in this world, because in this world they are monsters. There's no dragon companion so far. Like, that's not happened yet. And there is like an ecological type plot to this that I wasn't expecting. No one ever told me. Of course, all the people that I know that own the series haven't read yet, but I was not expecting like the princess of this land to figure out the science behind what was happening to their crops and why things were being destroyed. And I find it enthralling. I absolutely love this. So I've read a witchy story that was very similar to this, that dealt with climate change and what humans are doing and how witches combat it, and how the humans were really destroying the planet, and it was getting harder and harder for the witches to combat it because things weren't running in their natural cycles anymore. So I really loved that aspect of a different book, but this one is kind of having a similar focus, except it's the eradication of dragons that is causing the problem. So I'm really, really loving this. I really hope that, you know, more of that gets explored. And she's not the only one who's figured this out, but she's at the head of it. And I really love Bershad as a character. And then there's another one, Garrett, that I'm really liking him as a character too. But there is a romance here that I wasn't expecting. And I will say that there are some slightly graphic scenes. I don't feel like this goes overboard with the dark. I don't feel like this goes overboard with the sexual content, but there is some. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. Now, this one is also very, very easy to read. Like I said, I'm already halfway through it. It's great. It's great. I don't know that this is ever going to hit like favorite status for me, but as far as a good fantasy book goes, this is it. It's good. I like it. Now, the reason that I haven't been checking in as often as I should is, one, I'm flying through these, but also we have had the weekend, and the weekend brought adventure, and I will post some clips of that. And so I didn't do a whole lot of reading, and then by the time that I thought to check in with you guys, I was almost finished with the book. I keep saying that. I know it sounds like a broken record at this point, but I did remember to check in halfway with this one and let you guys know I'm absolutely loving this. I really think that it's great. And so the tattoos, I want to like tell you guys why this cover is the way it is. This is his dragon slayings. So that's the reason he's covered in tattoos, and why like you might want to show him off on the cover of the book. So I think this is great. What else can I say about it? I have not yet decided what my next read is going to be, but with how well this is going for me and settling back into a legitimate fantasy novel, and I'm not saying that the other ones aren't legitimate fantasy. I'm saying like hardcore fantasy, I mean, epic fantasy, I guess, dark fantasy, as opposed to the very plot-driven fantasy romance that I have been reading. I think I might pick up A Promise of Blood. It's one that's calling to me. If not, Blood of the Spear, possibly, or Gods of the Weirdwood, possibly. I am kind of waiting for Izzy to tell me that she is going to start Blood of the Spear. I mean, not Blood of the Spear, Gods of the Weirdwood, or give me a timeline of when she wants to read it. But I'm really ready to settle into some epic fantasy, some dark fantasy. Like, I'm really ready to settle back into some of that stuff. The more intense fantasy, the more hardcore fantasy, I guess. I don't know a way to say that doesn't make the other books sound like they're not legitimate, because I think they are. Well, I will check back in with you when I finish this and when I pick my next book.
I'm eating cayenne pepper extreme blue diamond almonds. And
okay, all of us are trying it. See? Okay, ready?
Yep.
Go.
Oh,
Oh, those are good.
those are pretty tasty. Hot.
Good flavor.
Yeah, good flavor. Okay, what are we eating this time?
We're eating ghost pepper, these nuts this time. And the same blue diamond almonds. These nuts, you know mine.
So ghost pepper. Hold
Ghost
them up,
pepper.
hold it up so we can see. Ghost pepper. Okay.
And hey, look at the calories, guys.
No, don't look at the calories. Okay, ready? All three of us.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, go. Oh, that has some residual heat.
I like those too. That's a little sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hot at all. I'm not spicy. It's just sweet.
I think the cayenne was hotter.
Yeah, I think cayenne was hotter too.
I don't know. Might be the one I tap out on.
All right.
Might be, guys. We got Carolina Reaper. Same blue diamond almond. Extreme Carolina Reaper. Carolina Reaper.
All right, all of us.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! That has some spice to it.
Oh, there's the heat coming.
Mm-mm.
Keep chewing.
Oh, that got me at the end there.
Heat comes at the end.
You good?
Yeah. That was good.
No milk?
No.
Okay, hello. Today is Wednesday, so I only have 2 more days left on the first week of this reading vlog. But I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know one particular thing. One, I am about 3/4 of the way through Blood of an Exile, and I am still really, really enjoying this. It is going on some journeying, which you guys know, I don't like the getting from point A to point B type journeying. And so that's kind of, I wouldn't say hurting my overall thoughts on this, but it's one thing I just don't like in books. So right now we are dealing with a little bit of that, and so it's starting to irk me a little bit, but I'm still really, really enjoying this story. I can see this coming in at a 4 stars easily, and the reason that I'm checking in with you now when I'm 3/4 of the way through this is because it is Wednesday night, and tonight I need to cook some dinner, all that stuff, and I don't know exactly like if I'll be able to check in with you when I finish reading this, because I might have to finish this and then go to bed. However, I received an ALC of the Water Outlaws, and I had been planning to read the Judas Blossom, but because I have an ALC of that, I think I might have to swap them out. It's a book that features a battle, and I'll have to read the Judas Blossom next month because I really want to read it. I really want to read it. And the Water Outlaws is Asian fantasy. I'll definitely tell you guys more about it whenever I get around to listening to it, but that was kind of the only update I had for you, is that I'm almost finished with this one, about 3/4 of the way through, and I haven't had much reading time today at all. I did read a couple chapters of The Fractured Dark, which I'm working on. My physical reading time is kind of nada right now, so I'm having to do mostly audiobooks so that I can keep moving, because we are doing homeschooling and he has got classes that I have to take him to, art classes, piano classes, and so we're either working here or going other places, and then on top of that, therapy. So I have been running myself ragged every day. Every day. Yesterday was pretty tough, but like even today, both of us just crashed and took a nap on the couch because it's just been a little much. It's been a little much. But yeah, I'm very excited to finish this off and pick up The Water Outlaws. I know I'm horrible at making a TBR and then absolutely changing everything on a whim. This I don't necessarily feel like was on a whim, other than I was not in the mood for a YA heist when I went to pick up my heist story and swapped it for a different one. And then getting an ALC, I need to prioritize that. And even though I really want to read the Judas Blossom, the ALC takes priority just a tad. Just a tad. All right, that's my check-in for now. I will see you guys either later on tonight or tomorrow. All right, hi guys. I have finished Blood of an Exile by Brian Naslund. I really enjoyed this. Do I think it's the greatest book ever written? No, but I really enjoyed the plot of this. I really liked the ecological things that were brought up. I really liked the whole exiles become dragon slayers. There's just so much unique and interesting things in this book, and I'm so excited to continue. I do have the second book. There is a chance that at some point this month I'm gonna want to just go ahead and continue the series, because like I said, I have the second book. I need to buy the third. That does solidify that I do need to buy the third book of this series. But yes, this was so good. And I was supposed to be reading The Water Outlaws, or listening to it, because I have an ALC copy of it. However, yesterday I ended up with a horrible headache. It didn't quite turn into a migraine because I caught it in time, but it was just one of those that was enough that I couldn't focus on anything. And I was like, no, I still want to listen to something at least, or, read something that's not going to take a whole lot of brain power. So I picked up Neon Gods by Katie Robert. And this is smut. It's all smut. That's all it is. There's no getting around it. Is it a good fantasy story? It's a decent story, I'm not going to lie. It's Hades and Persephone, so you do have to like them in order to like this. But it is a very empowered Persephone, so it's a different take on the Hades and Persephone story than we've heard before. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I like smut, so there's not really much to say about that. It's well written. And the story itself is a decent story, but it's pretty much just smut. So spice level 5, 5 of 5 chilies. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I don't know where it's going to land on the cow pile scale, because like I said, it's just smut. There's not a whole lot more to it. Does that mean I will continue with this series? That I don't know either, because there's nothing that's making me say, oh, I need more of this story. So maybe if I'm just in the mood for smut, or my brain is just not wanting to process the heavier stuff or the bigger fantasy books that I have, this would be a good series to go to. I'm nearly finished with it, guys. I will finish it today. So this also does not count for my readathon. So I don't know how to classify this other than I had a headache. I needed something that took no brain power. I had this book, figured why the heck not? So I will be picking up The Water Outlaws in the next vlog though, and we will go from there. But I feel like this has been a very good first week of the readathon. I knocked 3 books out. I'm going to start the other one tonight. I do think that my next book after The Water Outlaws, of course, may be The Kingdom of Copper, because City of Brass is starting to fade for me. So I am hoping that if it doesn't have one of those what came before chapters in it, that I can look one up. I'm sure there are some online because David Bod's pretty popular, but yeah, this seems like a great start to the readathon, getting myself back into fantasy, even though I did pick up a smutty book just because my head hurt and I didn't want to process anything too difficult. That's it for my vlog this week. I hope you guys have a great day. If you guys want to connect with me in any other way, I do have all of my links in a Linktree link down below. Bye!